This black, that's actually on the helmet. That's the start of the sign writing, but in the helmet also starts to fade away here, so got a little bit of grace to play with it. Hello and welcome to week 3 of the Senna painting. I'm showing you everything, every single stroke, every single part of this artwork from start to finish. Premiered live on 6:30 Sunday, Sydney, Australia time. What I've done off camera is lined up this one. I'm going to paint this section first today. It's got the Marlboro logo, and I'm going to freehand that, and I'll explain what I did there. So this is the advantage of having the one-to-one. I can literally pick out any part of the artwork on the computer and print it out. So first thing I did was I lined that up with what I painted last week, and that linked up to this one. So now they're in the right spot, so I know that this is in the correct spot, and I'm going to do the flips because I haven't got a line drawing there for the sign writing. Originally I didn't have the helmet faded before I got to that sign writing, so now I've got it there, and it's actually quite blurry. I'm going to freehand it. This is probably the start of the thing that's going to take a little bit of time, and it's also behind the shield right on the front of the helmet, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be able to camouflage it with opaque white over the top. You don't see much of the M and the A, so I'm going to do that first. I am going to mix up a blue with a little bit of the complementary colour to make it like a shadow blue. So I'll just add a bit of Payne's grey in it, to be honest. So what's the opposite? To work out the complementary, blues are primary, so there's blue, yellow and red. Yellow and red are the ones missing from that, so them together make orange. You add orange to blue, then that's the complementary, which is the same skin tone, is orange with a little bit of blue, so it's the same that way. So I'm just going to add a bit of Payne's grey to blue, and I'm not going to make an opaque version of this. I'm not going to add white to it at all. I'm going to use the white from the Airbrush paint, from the black and white of the Marlboro, and whatever canvas is showing through, and then I'm just going to just lightly tint it with this new blue that I'll make up. And I'll show you when I mix that up as well. But we will start with literally just black and white, doing that sign writing. All right, so I did speak about last week how I like to paint between shoulder and hip, and I've got the canvas as low as it'll go on my easel, and it's a little bit above, so it feels a little bit awkward. Joys of being short. I'll put the goggles on. So thanks for being here again, everybody. I'm hoping this part's not too monotonous to watch, not too boring, but you'll see here, and you'll see that it's just sort of really roughly at the start. That was pretty good. I sort of flip back and forth, and then my brain, I can almost see it on the canvas when it's gone. So I'll get through it pretty quick, I reckon. Really happy with how much got done last week. Get that whole face done in one section. If you just found this video now, go back and watch that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it's actually quite out of focus, which is good. So I don't need to go crazy sharp. I'm only a couple of centimetres off the page, which is enough. I'm being a little bit wobbly here, but it doesn't matter. Well, that's way off. I've got the white to adjust that, right? So it goes a little bit wider here. I'm using the opaque black too, so it just doesn't flow out as nice, but it'll do for now. I just feel the odd little skip and stuff. It's a little bit like the opaque white, right, or the opaque black. It's just a bit thicker pigments, and you see, I don't know if you can see the little hint of it, just like little mist there. I've got room to play with because I'm not trying to get this perfect. I've got the white, then I can adjust this later as well. So it's just about roughly right. I'm actually getting it pretty close first up here, but doesn't matter. You notice a little skip in the airbrush with the opaque black when I do it light. So I just, then it worked. But I'm not trying to get light and dark here, I'm just trying to get the shape. The white is going to adjust the tone of it and fix any of the shapes that are wrong. I'll say that little wobble here, well, that's the black hasn't come out enough. So it shouldn't take too long to get through that. The yellow is pretty much done already. The black's too high, the white I'll not bring that back later, but I'll go through all the letters first. And then, like I said, it's going to be behind the actual shield of the helmet anyway, so it won't matter too much. That's all a little bit out too much. You got to trust what you're seeing on the flip and ignore. So you automatically see the gap. So I want it to go a bit wider than what it is, but what will happen is eventually slowly all of it will be way out, and by the time I get down here I'll be half a letter out. So I've got to adjust and keep relying that I'm trying to hit that, even if it nearly touches the O, which it very closely will at this point. But I'll fix that as well. But the advantage of the flip technique is a little bit tricky to get used to, but the good thing is actually, because it's through that visor, this is why I didn't do any pre-cut stencils or anything. It wasn't really worth that effort. It's actually, you see all these little white, like this texture over the top of it and stuff, so you can simplify sign writing when race cars and that a lot. In fact, the early days when I'd write my name as the sponsors and whatever, no one ever spotted it. Let me know if you're enjoying this sort of concept of painting the entire artwork. Like, really, I'll say it without being a hero head, professional level, I'm good at what I do, and I'm showing you every little thing. These artworks, these sports stuff, that's what I love to do and what I did for years before I did the YouTube. And yeah, I'm holding nothing back. They're not really a lesson as such, I guess, if you're learning, but all the information's there. You pick it out yourself, all right? Yeah, let me know if you like what you're seeing, you like the concept. When you flip it, I'm liking this part. Do it fast. That's too far out. You watch it move. Hope the camera picks it up, all right? Let me check the camera. Anyway, you see it moves a little bit, so I know it's wrong. It's gone a little bit too low. So it's amazing. It's all way too, that's actually quite a bit off. But I'll tidy it up with the white. And probably have to go back with the black a little bit, but that's all right. And like I keep saying, it doesn't have to be perfect behind the visor, and then tinted with blue. This part here that I'm doing now is probably the most obvious one. The first part of Marlboro's pretty much 80% gone anyway. This is the glare of the visor. Like I said, I can see I do back and forth. I just look at a little spot, and then when I move it away, I can pretty much still see it in my mind. Flip, 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 flip. I'm looking at the next little bit of the inside of that O. I'm looking at here, and it goes about there. Then I'll double check. Yep, that was right. Okay. Now I'm looking at this part. It all happens like super fast in my mind. I've got that, you notice I've got the tape on the edge here. That's if I want to stick it down and use two hands. Or what I do is just sort of use my arm when I'm at two hands and it's against me a little bit, just to make it a bit faster. But at this point, that's all I need. But when doing this sort of like an eye or some real detail, I want to tape it down out the way and really work on it. Yeah, I am sort of rushing through this because I don't want this to feel like a monotonous sort of boring watch. I don't think it is. I think it's good, and you'll see me correct it as I go. Alright, I'm getting hot in here. I'm just going to put my fan on. Give me a second. I'm actually still recording the same day as last week, week 2, so we're at week 3. And it's a really hot, windy day today. It's just getting hotter and hotter as the day goes on. This will be probably all I record today. Hopefully over the next couple of weeks I'll get quite a bit further in front. Be interesting to see how we go today. I didn't put the timer on, did I? Go me. We're going about 10 minutes, so I'll set it for 50 to remind me that we've been around about that hour mark. Got the old school mechanical timer because I'm using my phone as the second camera. Whoops. Yeah, I've said in my earlier premieres and lives, it'd be a good drinking game one day if it's the right time of night. But every time Damo says whoops, have a drink. Because I was, especially early days, I was saying that a lot, and that was a whoops saying. Notice there's no panic whoops in my voice though. Every single stage, that's what I teach in my course, is fixable and adjustable, so there's no mistakes. It's just part of the process, right? I mean, right now this writing looks terrible, but I'm going to tidy it up. You watch when it's all done. It's going to look clean and beautiful. Now this part, look at that, it's just about gone, but I still have to put it in dark like this. So I've really got a bit of grace here to get this wrong, because it's 90% covered. Who knows, I might make it a little bit more obvious when I do the colours over the top, because I do want to make the yellow brighter. Senna's yellow helmet was pretty iconic, so I want to make that a bit brighter, which means I probably have to make the rest of it a little bit brighter, right? Because a lot of the yellow is underneath the visor, so maybe I'll make the visor look a little less tinted, which means that even the blue that I might make it a little bit cleaner. I might make it less of a shadowy blue, a bit brighter, or make the same shadowy blue and make it less. What am I trying? Less on there. Same shadowy blue, let more of the white show through, so it's a bit cleaner. Anyway, it's sort of, this is a good way to do, especially writing, if you can freehand it. When I get down to the car where the writing's a bit smaller and it's a lot more in focus, I will probably use a paintbrush to do the same thing, and back and forth with black and white and whatever, but or a Posca paint pen or something like that. Here's quite out of focus. It's not a key part of it, but it needs to be in there still. I want to say, yes, it can look a bit clumsy. Oh mate, why don't you just project it? But if you project it, it's going to be nowhere near as accurate, alright? Because the projector is going to be quite blurry, so you'll draw it roughly, so it'll be a bit wobbly. Then so you're doing it again on top of that. You're using your wobbly lines as your guide to do more wobbly lines on top of it, and it ends up way out. So there's this way. I've got the exact lines I need to follow. Right now it's a little bit wobbly, a little bit off, but I'll be able to adjust it. I've said that like 100 times. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you for everybody that's been in the chat for the premieres. It actually makes it, it's good. It gets me up nice and early on a Sunday and starts my day off well, because I get to watch it with you guys. I really enjoy that, way more than the lives. The lives were good. The lives relied a little bit too, I had a bit of technical issues a couple of times and whatever. And this feels better because I can actually interact with you guys better than when it's live and I'm not actually viewing the chat as often. I will do lives again though. They were fun but different, but this, I really enjoy this. Gives me time to, like these last couple I've been able to edit a little bit, jump across and show you mixing up the paint and all that stuff. You don't see the boring bits as I fumble around the studio looking for stuff. Alright, wow, I got that A way wrong. So ignore it and do the top part of the A right. So see, it touches there, which obviously doesn't in real life, but that was how far off I got that bottom of the A. So this top part now has put me back on track. It's easy to go, I'm painting an A and just put it, and then I've got the whole lot wrong. Alright, so I'm whipping through this pretty quick now. And I'm not going to play back and forth, I'm not going to go pixel perfect, because like I said, it's not really needed up the top here. Just going to go back and forth with it once. I'll tidy up anything with the white, maybe if I make a mistake, a little bit of black back again, but that'll be it. That'll be good enough. Then I'll mix up the blue that we want. I'll show you that. Then start really hooking in. I'm hoping this session we get the helmet done. That'll be nice. Although, I meant to put colour. Jumped the gun a bit. I meant to put colour on the background as well. Yeah, I'm very wary of. I put a time pressure on myself only because if it took me 30 hours and I did 1 hour videos, that's 30 weeks. It's halfway into 2026 before you see the end result, and that's no good. So I really want to make sure that I do it in like 20 hours or even less if I can. I don't think it'll be less than 20, and then did like an hour and a half, 2 hour videos, so then it's only 10 or 12 videos in total. And then we get to see the end. Right, so I do feel like I'm rushing through this, which is yeah, crazy. So up here, the M just disappeared up here, so there's no point. Just do what you see. All right, that'll do. That's actually reasonably straight for out of focus anointing. Switch to the white, I'll tidy it up. Then I'll give you a view from further back and take the camera back a bit. See, it's come out grey because a little bit didn't quite rinse out enough. Okay, I'm just looking at the outside of this O. I went too big there, so come back in a bit. That's good. Oh, that's annoying. I just spotted a little bit of the black that wasn't enough, so I'm definitely going to have to come back with black. Unless see, the inside of that now isn't enough. It jumps back and forth. Okay, the top too high. Flatten the top a little bit. A little bit, just a fraction sharp and out a little bit. There we go, that's much better. That'll do. Okay, got the bottom of that completely wrong. You'll see in like stuff like this, my white is probably more reduced than most people do, and I just put extra coats. Everyone has trouble with white. You're better off having the flow right and then having put a few coats than trying to cover it in one go and have some flow problems. In a little bit there. In a little bit there. Now I've got the camera zoomed right in, right, so you can see it like I'm seeing it. Oh geez, that looks a bit terrible. You watch when you zoom out and have a look. This is not a key component of this artwork. So I don't understand if it's completely wrong, but if you watch later when I take the camera back and show the whole thing and you go, oh wow, that's clean as. And it's obviously not when you see it up close like this. Doesn't matter. Don't spend the effort trying to get it perfect from 1 millimeter away when you're meant to view it from 4 meters away. This goes way higher up there, it's a major one. It's not even covered. You can see how blue it's gone because it's white over black. So I'm going to spray a blue over it anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is a good example. I tried to narrow down. Analogies are great for teaching, right? So I tried to narrow down this analogy compared to, I might have said it before on here before, but Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, right? So the one where if you're not a Star Wars fan, the snow speeder and the big walkers, and they trip them over and they're flying around and they trip them over but it's just snow. So back in 1979 when they were recording it. It was released in 1980. They used the blue screen technology and whatever for the spaceships flying around, and but up till that point they'd only been in space, right? It's a black background. So what they did when they did it on the snow is all the spaceships, especially from the cockpit view looking out, had this thick black cartoon line around it, and they couldn't work out how to fix it because it looked terrible. They fixed it later on when they made digital versions, but in 1980 it was released. But what they did is they actually made the view from in the cockpit transparent. They turned it down to like 80% transparency, and it hid that black outline. Right, and you didn't notice it. So if you watch the original, you could probably find it on YouTube somewhere. Someone's got a cut of them talking about this exact thing. I think it's in a documentary I saw it. You can see the ship's flying. You can see the walkers through the part that's meant to be solid, but no one noticed it. That's a little bit what happens here. That blue shift is, look, there's still black showing through. There's still white showing on the black. That doesn't matter. No one's going to notice it. Just like they didn't for Empire Strikes Back in 1980. Okay, this is the part where it's a lot of white over it. So I don't have to be anywhere near as fussy up here. Well, here I'll start to wipe it out actually. Like a bit of a reflection on the thing. 95% wiped out. The top of the yard's not even there. What did I even make that up for? Right. And start doing what you see, not what you think you see. Look, I'm not going to even bother fixing those little things I was talking about before. I can't even find them now. A little bit on that inside of that B, maybe. I said the top of the A was wrong before, this part, and I'm just fixing that there now. But it's actually camouflaged by a bit of reflection. Just always thinking in my head, maybe I will make an opaque version of this this dirty bluey white colour. Might make that a bit easier. Think I will. Alright. Alright, I'm going to do that. Keep that there. Tape that to the side. Well, it's not too bad. Okay, in the interest of showing you every single step, I'll quickly show you this dirty blue. I'm not even going to spray test it or anything. So I'm going to make blue. Now I could add the complementary orange to make it a shadowy version, or I could add Payne's grey, that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to add a fair bit because I don't want it to really, it's not really blue, it's a really dulled blue, and Payne's grey is going to do that. We'll add some reducer and the UVLS gloss, which is in every single colour. Remember, every colour's got the UVLS. This is for adhesion, so we'll drop that in there too. Just this technical amount, a bloop. And I'm not going to spray test it. That'll do because I can adjust it on the fly. That, and then the same process as before, I'm going to make the opaque version, I've decided. So I'm going to start with white and just put a little bit. Actually, I'm looking at is very, very blue still, so I'm going to put more Payne's grey in that before I swap it across. Mostly Payne's grey now. Oh, that was a lot. Okay, now I'll just put a little bit of that in that white. Shake that up, and that is crazy blue. Still too much. Alright, I'm going to actually, well, I'm just going to use that in surface mixer. I said I wasn't going to bother. I'll put a little bit of reducer in that. Don't forget the UVLS bloop. Bloop, UVLS. And then I dropped, did you see that? I just dropped all the blue. Haha. That's annoying. But luckily that was the one that had lots in it, so bit of a wastage, but that's all good. Alright, so they're the colours I'm going to use just around that Marlboro there. Let's see how they work. Okay, so I did put way too much blue into the white. You see on this one here, it was too blue, and then I tipped a lot of it out, and then I've got mostly white with a little bit of that blue, and I'm going to use that around here. It's cleaner blue than what's on the image, but that's what I was going for. If you remember, I want to make the yellow and the helmet brighter. So basically what I'm saying is the tinted visor is not as tinted in my painting version. So I'm using it around here. There's a lot of this bluish colours over the top of the writing. A lot of this disappears. And I also can decide to just put, I can put Payne's grey and surface mix the rest of that as well if I want to. It's just really about just getting the colour down. You notice that a bit of a theme that I'm sort of showing is just quickly. I'm not like, just get the colour down, any colour, just go. Adjust on the run, and that's what happened when I sprayed it out. Oh no, that's too blue. Alright, I'll tip it out, just quickly add a bit more white, which wasn't worth me setting the camera up again to show you me putting a splash of white in it. Yeah. So this is working out all right now. This is the part where I've got mentally a bit of a challenge for me, because I'm looking at the colour. I know I want it brighter than what is here, but I'm looking at it going, it's wrong. It's got to be darker. It's got to be dirtier. It's got to have more Payne's grey in it. But that was the conscious choice I made. So I've got to ignore the intuition that's screaming saying it's wrong. And I've got that transparent blue, that's the advantage. So if we made this opaque one, starting off, as always the process to use, I'll make the colour first without the white and add the white later. Then I've got two. I've got the colour version and I've got the opaque version. So if I decide later that I wanted to make it less white in it, I can just put a light coat of the colour that's got no white in it. Surface mix that colour. Okay, so again, I'm ignoring that intuition that's screaming. It gets really dirty here. It's obviously a bit of a shadow. I'll look at that later. I'm not going to, while I'm doing the flick, I'm not going to try and do that now. I'm going to get some of that blue in. I'll find this edge and we'll move to the yellow in a minute. Now, I'm going to guess that that's about there, the edge of that, because that's off the page. Sort of at the point now, and I might do it, is I'll take this off and I'll put it down here now, and I'll just use it that way. Use my observation skills now. I'll switch to the other camera, you can see it a bit clearer. Because it's clean enough, like it's definitely clean enough. This would be a good colour later actually, because I'll have to, the white to this bluey colour is going to be a bit of, not white, the yellow to this is going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to dirty some of this up as well, so I'll use this colour at the end for some highlights on top of the shield. It looks like actually when I look at the reference, you know, got the tear-offs, you still got the tear-offs on there, you can see the bubbles and stuff. That must be annoying as a driver. Okay. All right. That's pretty much the sign writing done. I like that bit. Just having a look. Okay, I'm not going to show you this, but I'm going to mix a pretty much straight opaque version of yellow. I'm going to get this outline done. I'm going to put the base down of the helmet, down here. I may need to put white down first, so I'll have a look at what colours I got. Okay, so I've got the create text, the actual opaque. I don't know if you can see that there. Come on, you can zoom in. There you go, the opaque version. So let's see how good it is. I'm not sure how well. I don't use the opaques often. I use the transparents and use white for the opacity. But we will see how good it is. I'm just literally going to use straight out, and I'll tint it off later. So no point watching me fill up the straight colour. Okay, so I have that straight opaque yellow, zero reducer. I put a little bit of the UVLS gloss again for the adhesion things. I want to see how well this covers, so I haven't got no idea how good this is going to go. Whoop, there's a little bit of delay. See how it's not going to even cover that pencil. It's also not going to spray super well because it's got no reducer at all in it. But that's all right. We'll sort it out. It's actually, it's got some really strong brightness to it, straight up. So it's just not going to cover the pencil at all, but that's all right. I really am more concerned about getting a nice clean line on the edge of this Marlboro sign. We're just doing a good job of that. Again, this is my OCD brain saying it's wrong, because that colour this is way brighter than what the colour is in the reference, but that was sort of what I was going for. I also may choose to change it later. But this is the hero colour of Ayrton Senna, right? And I am going to, it is going to get dirtied up a little bit just by some transparent over the top. I'll put some white, because the shield, the visor, that's what I keep saying, shield, I knew it was wrong, visor is still there, so I need to show it, just not going to be maybe as tinted as what it is in the picture, but, oh, see, this is terrible because it's thicker, it's not spraying as well, a bit of a delay on the start. I've got to really pull the trigger to get it to come out, so I will reduce it later, but yeah, so that visor is going to be there, so I'm going to have to I will put some Payne's grey over it, and some white to show the reflections and all that sort of stuff, but I just want it overall just brighter than what it's showing there. Yeah. I'm just sort of making up I don't have a lot of these lines here because I drew this up when the helmet wasn't there. It faded out by that point on the drawing up, but I've got enough sort of signposts to tell me like the edge of that is drawn and whatever, so it's there, sort of ends up over here somewhere, that yellow. This will be full yellow. I will not tint this part at all because that's outside of the visor, and that's all. We'll get a yellow there, and we're going to get some real bright bit of the yellow there. I can already tell that I'm going to have to put white down to kill some of these pencil lines first, especially down the bottom here. And maybe over top of this is a little bit streaky. Right, we'll move the camera back a little bit now as I do a little bit more. I'll go down the bottom. I still haven't tinted any colours in the background as yet. Alright, I'm gonna, like that yellow's working good as far as getting a really bright colour down straight up, but I'm going to switch to the pure white now. I'm going to go over that, really get rid of the patchiness, see if I can get rid of those pencil lines, and then redo the yellow, and then also basically prepare the bottom part for the yellow with the white. Well, again, it's become like a pretty intense, a lot of information I'm chucking out at you today. Alright, just getting the my phone stand out the way. That's annoying me. That's the other thing that makes it a bit awkward when I'm doing these videos. I think I said it last week that you feel the pressure. It's a bit like painting live at an event. You feel that pressure. A good time to. That was the yellow still not rinsed out of the airbrush. So it would have been a good time to do this part up here. Even up a bit. I am going to go yellow over top of it again. Just killing off those pencil lines a bit. Yeah, so I was saying having the camera there, it's like being watched the whole time. It puts added pressure, and the other extra thing that it does is it just slows me down because I'm moving stands around and whatever. So that was, sorry, I just got distracted. This part here is actually the black bit. So the yellow's down here. So it just disappears on the corner of the car there. Okay, so let's get it nice and clean where this yellow is going to go. lose the stool because I'm getting lower. Actually, yeah. So even that, I was going to pick the canvas up higher. It's like, oh, then the camera's got to move, and then I'm going to drop back down later. And I'll just get down and do it. All right, so this edge now goes all the way down to the tyre, pretty much. I've got a hint of it here. So this is part of the changes that I made. Before it disappeared altogether, but I wanted more yellow showing. So I'm going to do it pretty much as if it's yellow, but I'm doing it with the white. There's still a little bit of yellow shooting through because I didn't really rinse the airbrush out. There you go. Yeah, it goes all the way down to the tyre, which means, where is it? Oh, that's the tyre there. I've got to put a bit more colour in the background here. Alright, so I'm going to do that now. Switch to the opaque black. This part of the background that I didn't do last week, the fence. Again, just going to make sense of what's what here. That's the tyre, and there's a streak. Okay, so that's the tyre, the top of that, and there's this like streak coming off the tyre. Yep, that helps me see that. Okay, there's that part here. There's another gap, another part of the fence. All the way to there, beautiful. Again, this has got that that motion blur. There is some extra bits there in a second, so I'll darken that. I'll do that with the white. That's all I need to do, just that little bit. Okay, cool. That's done. Give it a good rinse this time because it's switching back to white from black. I'm going to get rid of all that black. Still faster than a gravity feed. Okay, I'm just looking at the background right now, just to put this little extra work in. Actually probably need to finish that bit of the fence where that yellow blends down. I'm sort of jumping around a little bit there. And when I say finish that bit of fence, like put some colour on it, it's not quite black and white. It's very close to that anyway, but a little bit of blue in it, which I've got a nice blue made up. No, that's not blue enough. That's too blue, I mean. I'll use Payne's Grey, it'll do. I'm just looking at this little highlight bit here. I think I put in a little bit the wrong spot. It won't matter. See, I could get carried away and probably would with printing a one-to-one and getting this exact, but no one's going to look at this sort of stuff. All right, it's not going to matter. Whatever that is, a bit of texture, just do what you see, you don't even know what it's meant to be. I think it's a little bit of a hint of the sign writing that was on the front of his helmet showing through, but it doesn't matter, just do something. One thing's for sure, it's not nothing, there's something there. Got a feeling it's a bit like heat haze type of thing here too. Very subtle, just a hint out of that. All right. I'll see when it paints grey into oil. Which is actually, it's very blue, this paint's grey, I must say, but that's all right. Actually, that's why when I put the blue, the paint grey didn't shift it enough. It's actually a pretty good colour, that Payne's grey, which I should stop calling because it's more blue. It's actually more the shadow blue that I really wanted, so there you go. If I wanted it any bluer, which I do over here, it looks a little bit bluer. I'll use this one lightly. There we go. Hint of that. And I'll use this blue everywhere in the background. We'll do that in a minute. That'll be fun. Okay, I'm going to use, without rinsing out, some of that first skin tone. You see, it's like this brownish bit here, reddy brown. Just see what that looks like. That puts a bit of colour on it. A little bit of there. Oh, I missed that one. Doesn't matter. This colour will be a lot in the background too. This is the surface mixing that I'm talking about. Yeah, that'll look good. And then I've got yellow, orange and blue so far. I'll mix a red and do a lot of the surface mixing of all the different colours. Just make it on the thing, just use red, yellow and blue, save mixed up a million jars. Alright, so give it a good rinse now. I'm going back to the straight white and back to where I was at with preparing this bottom half of the helmet to take the yellow. Alright, so it goes way down here, and doesn't quite line up. Alright, that's interesting. Doesn't matter, I'll fade it out about there, but it must mean that the helmet's not quite, there's my line drawing, because I'm not using the flips anymore, doesn't quite line up to what the flip thing would be, so it'll be alright, it's only a fraction out. Had the fear then that I forgot to push record. Haven't done that yet. Well, actually, yes, I did. I did it on my filming my first course. I did a whole big chunk. Oh, there we go. That's the first hour roughly. Oh, I'll whack 45 minutes. And that will be very close to the 2 hour mark, and I know I'll find a few minutes just to finish off whatever part we're doing. So I've got to, geez, I feel like I'm putting the pressure on myself time wise, which is interesting because like if I had all the time in the world, maybe I'd put an unnecessary extra 10 hours onto this painting. Probably have done that many times. Okay, so hint at whatever that shine writing was, so that's alright. Don't need to do that. Simplify. I only got 45 minutes to go today. If there's anything major wrong, shapes, like I said, that annoys me. That's my OCD and want to be everything perfect. Perfectionism. But if it looks too wrong at the end, then there's no big deal to change it. I just got to sign off on it for now. Alright, so it's got to be really bright to take that yellow. Overspray goes where I don't want it to, but that's alright, we'll clean that up. Got to get it nice and bright. So you remember last week I did the whole thing. This has got a long curve. I'm going to use my body and sort of, and my arms in unison to try and get a nice even long curve. There you go, that's good. Notice I did a few sort of practice goes first and then I slowly did it. Like that. Oh, that was good, that was better than I thought. Alright, there's another line here. This is, the yellow goes in between here and here. That's what I'm worried about. I will have to do that again because there's a white and a black and a white. Right. It's a little bit patchy, but this is the area where the helmet starts to blend into the background anyway. And as it dries out, so I've got the white reduced a little more just to flow. I've spoke about that before. It sort of goes on darker, and then as it dries it brightens up, so you've got to get used to how that's looking too. Alright, that's good. I'll put another coat here. This pencil line's really not good, so I'll put another coat there. There we go, just about covered that pencil line now. Those pencil lines will be done with the whatever that is, green and or red. Now this is something that really, so that big curve, I was pretty happy with that big curve that I've done. Stand back and have a look. That was pretty good. But that's something, there's no big deal to run the tape line, and I might even have to soon. I might have to run a tape line, especially for that fine black in the middle, and then just soften it up a little bit so it's not as super sharp. Right, sorry, I just realised I sort of feel like I've got to put the camera further back because I'm jumping around a bit, but we'll go back down here because the bit I did up the top you didn't see. Okay, that was not the one I want, it's here. In fact, I think even though I was pretty happy with this line that I did, I think I will run the tape, and because the next one is white, then there's black. So to get it really crisp and clean, I think I need to have it taped up. Okay, I'm going to add some white to this yellow because it's been hard to build up the white enough in those dark areas to get, so see up here, up the top, which you can't see at the minute, the yellow's brighter, and there it's a little bit dirtier because it's just the white wasn't quite bright enough in the bottom, again because it was reduced. So I'm just adding a little bit of white to this straight yellow. Again, there's no reducer at all in this, just to try and get, and if I need to make it brighter after that, I can put a transparent yellow over the top of it, but because it looks, yeah, that's better straight away. Because where it's showing through, it's coming too green, because there's too much of the Payne's grey and black and stuff underneath showing through. So I want to set myself up with a decent target today with 35-40 minutes to go. I don't think it's going to be the completed helmet, unfortunately. So what can I decide to do? I'll get the yellow down. I've got time to, I can redo it next week if I have to. I'll look at that over the time away. And I'll colorise the background today. So we'll finish the background when I look and it's about 10 minutes to go. I'll stop and put some colours into the background, and at least that blurry background will be completely finished today. And we'll continue on the helmet next week. You see the back to forward. I reckon next week the helmet could be finished. Then we'll have to do the background back to forward here. The fence, that can be finished. Car last. Yeah. Don't like that yellow. Let's see up the top here. See the difference in the yellows? So it means I've really got to brighten up the base before I put that yellow down. So yes, indeed. All right, it's getting there. It is brighter than it was before. What I'm going to do is thicken up my white just for this purpose. If I can get that up, so here's my new plan for today. If I can get that the yellow bright enough and clean enough and covered enough on the helmet and the background done today, then that's a good result for today's session, I think. So it's a good time because the white's fairly low, so I'll put a fair bit of white in there. So much so that I might even add a bit more UVLS gloss. So this will be horrible to use now because it's super thick, but that's what I want just for this part, and then I'll reduce it later when I use it in other parts. But what it tells me now is I've got to be, look how, when you look at the reference, how bright white that car is. I've got to keep that as clean as I can because it's going to be hard to make it super bright. That'll be the first one. I'm going to do the car, the white car's going to be done first. And yeah. So let's see how this goes. Not too bad. I mean, I just had a glance at my monitor and it looks alright. It's just not compared to that. And like I did say, I'm probably getting carried away because the background does blend into it. I could probably even use a transparent yellow. I will actually. So I'll mix up a straight transparent yellow over this because this is even and it's bright. The yellow coming through is fine, but that's making it brighter. This yellow this time's going to be much nicer. But I'll use a transparent yellow so the white sort of glows through. This is when you could probably, maybe I could have masked the car because, you know, when big and the overspray is going everywhere. Keep it crisp, but it'll be right as long as I don't lose the lines. You can hear the raspiness. It's another telltale sign that it's thick. This is a 0.3 airbrush on water. What is it? Fucking every time it pisses me off. Stupid name of it. H-line, HBPC, one fucking stupid fucking name, fucking airbrush. I can't never remember. H-line siphon feed, blah blah blah. Yeah, alright. I won't pause, I'll mix up one more yellow, I'll mix up the transparent yellow. Oh, I've already got that out, what am I doing? Alright, illustration yellow. A little bit of UVLS. A little bit of reducer, might as well make, it doesn't matter now. So this will make it nice and bright. If not, I can use the opaque one again, but we will see. These sort of colours, yeah, that's much better. Yellow, red, green, like even when you make it with blue and yellow, they're hard to keep even. Well, the opaque versions of those colours are handy, because they do more even, but you see here, just nice and high with the transparent. Red especially for some reason. So when you're doing those, you block colour like this. Don't worry about the overspray, clean it up later. It's more important to keep it all nice and even. There you go, that's a much brighter yellow that I wanted. Even on here now, I'll put it over top of the first yellow. Lovely. There's a hint of pencil lines there, but there's some stripes to go through and stuff. I'll cover them with the other one. Alright, one more coat of that. Okay, so I said I wanted to get the colour in the background. So let's do that. Well, that's drawing. I wanted the yellow bright enough and the background done. I've still got 30 minutes to go before that timer goes off. So we'll do that, at least we can say it's finished, and when the timer goes off I might do a little bit more around the helmet itself. I guess the next tough colour is going to be that green. Yeah, that's going to be, I just did say that green's not much fun to paint. Alright, so I'm just going to use what I've got for the background. I might just move the camera over here, because I'm going to be further back. You can have an overall view of it. that's good. Alright, I'll start with blue. This is the blue that I made before. Anywhere where I see blue, I'm just going to go a bit green here, but as it fades onto there, that's alright. We're going to, that helmet is fading on there. There's some blue here too. It's going to turn really green. I might just leave that. That needs white on top. Okay. Not going to be exact. It's just a. Because really, when you got that motion blur, it's a blend of all these different colours, right? Probably where the strongest blue is this top corner here. Again, anyone's only going to look at this if it looks wrong. That'll do for the blue. Now I've got orange, haven't I? Raw orange. I might use that. If I don't rinse it out, it'll look too purplish. It's already orange. Okay, so this part I'll put a bit of that skin tone before, the transparent skin colour. So now with a bit of warmth, extra warmth over it, it works alright. There we go, that's working good. It's all surface mixing, guys, so as it actually doesn't come out that orange, it becomes out browns and all different shades of browns and purplish colour and still following along that side to side sort of motion. I'll do the edges a little bit. I don't normally put much detail on the edges, but you do need some colour because you get a float frame or something, you can still see that edge. So just controlling how much comes out. It's transparent. It's working well. Just going on down here, there's a bit of that here. Actually, a lot of that down here. Okay, orange. A little bit of the yellow. Couple of brighter bits there. That's it. This is now the shadow brown that I made on the skin. So I'll start going into a little bit of the darker areas now. Probably what's missing is red. I'm not going to mix it up, but maybe I'll decide later when I've got red mixed up for the car whether I put it in the background. Again, I doubt it, because once you sort of sign off in a bit, you call it and it's done. But I'll put some of these edges in. There we go. All right. Now I'm just thinking paint spray is not going to do it for me. I'm actually thinking I'm going to shortcut this and use the black carefully. There's a couple of spots down the bottom here, and then I can, if it goes a bit muddy, I can tint it out, but especially around here there's some bits that need to really come out. Now this is the opaque black, it doesn't, not ideal. It's just going to be like a bazooka powerful to create these shapes that aren't really here yet. Still zigzagging. This is definitely going to go very green where I do the black over yellow, but I'll tint that with orange or red. Red kills green. But the orange is red enough, I think that'll do it. That's good. This is getting a bit more of that motion blur that I wanted in the background as it blends into the helmet. I'm liking this part. Stand back and have a look from a distance. Constantly, I remember you telling you last week, you stand back and you sort of make it the same size. So I'm going to choose to have a little bit more yellow showing through than what's here, because again the whole point of it was that yellow is the hero colour and I want that showing through. Alright, that's the pin. There's a pinstripe next to that yellow, so that's there. Disappears here as the yellow disappears. So the background starts to show through. I'll put some white over this because this is the blue bit that I tried to do before, so I need to be really strong with the white. And some orange, get rid of that greenness. Okay, we're looking good now. So this fence, I lost all that stuff. Remember I put the heat haze in and stuff. I lost it with, but that's alright. Had to get that yellow bright enough. We'll put that back in again. Okay, so that's the fence that'll come back in later. Remember I put all these little bits, I didn't know what they were. You see them all in the black. Again, a lot of it sort of, I lost some of it because when I was trying to get that yellow bright enough. Sometimes that happens, guys. You just gotta keep working. Do it again, no big deal. All part of the process. Okay. Don't like that. I'm going to have to bring that up higher because that goes through here. I'll probably. There we go. This black, that's actually on the helmet. That's the start of the sign writing, but in the helmet also starts to fade away here, so got a little bit of grace to play with it. Especially there. I'll tidy that up with white and that in a minute. Again, this is a bad move, using opaque black lightly, but that'll do. Alright, I think that's it for the background. Looking pretty cool. We will totally lost track of how long this video is, but that's alright. Time is going to go in 15 minutes. Pull white out now, tidy it up. This is, again, you see what the advantage of having siphon feed, guys, like how much I'm swapping and changing, how fast it's happening. It's yeah, it's no big deal if you've got a gravity feed and just add an extra hours onto everything that it's done so far, because it adds up pretty fast as far as all that rinsing time, cleaning out time, especially when you're going from dark to light. Okay, so I'm going to be really strong here. So this is the top of the fence one. I'll clean up this edge. Start to clean that up. A lot of overspray that yellow as I tried to get it all even. I've got to remember what colours I used to actually get that fence colour. I haven't mixed up a grey. Maybe, I think it was just the Payne's grey over the top. I've done that, and maybe a little bit of blue. So that's the edge there. I'll clean that up in a minute. I'm trying to get this part of that same fence because it fades away about there. Like I said, I've been painting, this is all in the one session. The last two videos this week, last week's was in the one session. And I'm feeling the fatigue, to be honest, not for airbrushing, but the fatigue of actually talking about it, shifting cameras around, having that feeling, like I said, that there's someone watching you every move. It's an interesting little learning thing there, because yeah, something I didn't think about, that feeling of being watched every part of it, and how extra draining that feels versus, you know, look, I could sit here and just paint all day, no dramas, and get a heap done. But I'm definitely calling it after today. Next week I'll record another 2. I think 2 at a time is all I can do. So I'll quickly get ahead though, as far as there'll be a point when we're watching videos and I've actually finished the artwork. That'll be okay. Black fades into here. I'll not use Payne's grey there because it won't be actually. I need to make a purple. Purple will be better because that won't go muddy at all. That's the red. So what I'm going to do, I'll make a Payne's grey and add more red to it. So it'll be, because it's a bluey colour, the Payne's grey, and then it'll be a nice purpley colour, which would be good for when I'm blending into the yellow. If I get time to do that today, we'll go about 12 minutes to go by that Temu special timer. Yeah, that's looking good. Actually, that'll be interesting to see how good a shading colour that'll be. It's always a nice colour, that purpley Payne's grey. So I'm going to mix that up now. Stay with me, guys. Almost there for today. Not going to let it sit today. We're just going to do it. So we'll just Payne's grey. Again, you see I don't, there's no real precise measurements involved. It's just about evolving. I'm thinking about with my course, I've got the next one I'm naming mid-tone sculpting. So we're going to be using the greys, the grey, black and white, to adjust your mid-tones. So that's a cool name, mid-tone sculpting, because that's what it feels like you're doing. But also thought of the name colour sculpting, because that's what you're constantly adjusting on the run. I think maybe there's just too many sculptings in the one system. Alright, well that was way too much red. That stuffed that up. Alright, that Payne's grey is terrible, actually. It's really weak. Maybe it's just lumpy at the bottom. That's what it is. Right, I'm going to shake the crap out of that. I just remember now, I remember when I first opened that bottle, and I've still got a little bit of the other one left. I forgot that it was like really weak. And it was just that batch. Yeah, I can see it already. Alright, this would be heaps better. So that was just a little bit of the last one. Oh, instantly that's the colour I wanted. Alright, note to self, shake the crap out of that. It must be lumpy at the bottom. Yeah, that's more the colour I wanted. Purpley shadow. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect for shadow orange. What a freaking hell I'm saying, shadow yellow even. Yeah, perfect colour for that. Again, this fatigue kicking in. I'm just like wandering around, like here, there, everywhere. I didn't rinse that out. There we go. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a beautiful colour. So whenever you do, if you do a yellow car, or anything yellow, the shadow yellow is the hardest one, right? So you want more purple than anything else. That's good. Alright, I'm going to full on cut that much off that. That's heaps better. And that lines up to the edge of that tyre that I wanted. So all that's wrong. Yeah, so as we wind up today, well, we've got about 8 minutes to go. Hope you guys are enjoying this come together. Like, it's a bit, look, I would like to do this a lot more, maybe, you know, series after series after series like this. I don't know. Depends if you guys like it or not. There's no point doing it if no one watches it, no one wants to share it around, no one wants to learn anything from it, which is fine. I'll just do other stuff. You know, like I started the channel, and the first few videos I did was all about beginners, tips and tricks, and they're important, right? I still actually want to do those. This is such a good colour that I'm going to use it up here under the visor. Get a Don't worry about the over. I'm going to have to clean that up with that light blue that I made before. But yeah, that's a perfect colour for that. Still clean, but it darkens that yellow. Alright, so there's a bit of work to do on that helmet still next week, but the background's done. I'll tidy up that this part of the helmet that I just fixed up now. I might even cheat, actually. I was going to get Payne's Grey, but I'm going to go straight to opaque black, wipe it out. Wipe it out and tidy it up from there. You see there's any stage, nothing like this is when it came to me, my freedom to freehand courses. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like I'm talking sales all the time, but it came to me. I was just painting something like this. It wasn't centre, obviously, but I wanted to do it. I was doing a Aussie footballer. And just like, oh yeah, oh that's really good, I'll just wipe that out. Exactly what I just did here. And I was like, oh my God, nothing ever bothers me. Like, I can remember painting and it didn't feel like that much longer before, and having that tension, like each little bit, and it slows you down too. 100%, if you guys are watching this in your airbrush, where you feel like you're going slow, and it's more because not 100% sure what you're doing. Not 100% sure that at any next minute you're going to wreck it and you have to start again. But just all that, it's like, oh yeah, just wipe that out. That, and I was painting and that popped in. I'd done something similar to that, and freedom to freehand popped in my head. And like, oh my God, I am free. And then I went back to what sort of started the whole thing, and I sort of forgot about it. I was painting my daughter's bedroom wall. She was like way younger, and Frozen, you know, Disney Frozen was out, Pixar, whatever it is. She loved it, and I painted it, and I'd been airbrushing over 20 years, so I was good at what I did. I'd done the rookie mistake of when you push down and you get a little puff of paint, because I didn't double action properly when I stopped, and it was bang, I was nearly finished. It was right on it, part of her face, and I refused to actually try fixing it. I'll just leave it, no one will notice it. It was really minute and no one did notice it, but I realised then that I'm actually just good at not making mistakes, not actually really properly free, if that makes sense. And now I'm free, I don't even think about it. It's just like, yeah, we'll just do that. You know, you hear me talking all the way through. I'll just do this now, and then later I can decide to change it if I want to. I'll just wait and see, and then I think, oh well, I probably won't because it'll look good enough. All that, you think about all the words I'm using, it's all coming from someone that is calm, in control, and is not scared about making mistakes, because there is no such thing. Once you're at that point, there is actually no such thing as a mistake. It's just part of the process. The oops, where I did it. Who cares? So that's what actually, that day when I was painting that picture and I realised and I had that epiphany, I fixed something just like I did there, that's gone. That was way over here before, gone. But, and I had that epiphany about actually where I'm at now and where I was only a short time ago, a few years before. That's when I decided that I should make a course. And then, yeah, make a YouTube channel, then blah, 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 all that stuff all came from that. So yeah, that's the story in a nutshell. A couple of minutes to go, I'm going to call it for today. This is good. I really like how bright that yellow is now. I'm liking it. I'm starting to blend it in. Yeah, it's looking right now. I'm just jumping around a little bit just to help that blend in. See, again, just rework a little bit here, there. Oh, what did I say before? Oh, here, I'm going to put some, there we go. I want to put some blue above here, but it needs to have the white there first. And actually that white is blue shifting just the right amount that I don't need to put it blue, because it's the blue that I want. Amazing, done. That's all I wanted. Okay, I'm nearly finished. I'm going to put I don't like that colour of the top of the fence line now. Yeah, I think, like I said, I did it with Payne's Grey before. Weak as Payne's Grey, that doesn't bloody... that I've got to shake up. So next week, this Payne's Grey will be replaced with one that has been shaken up. So I'm just lightly touching over that, get that starkness off of it. And I see a little bit of that brownish tinge there as well, so I'm just going to use one of the skin tones. I'll use the darkest skin tone lightly, and that's going to look, just going to put that little bit of brownness on there as well. Actually, it did put a little bit brown, but not what I wanted. So again, because I can, and because I'm not panicking, now I'm using more that original transparent skin tone. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch was it last week, the first time when I did that face. The original skin tone transparent colour. It's a little bit richer. And this is surface mixing at its best, so it's not that colour, it's its own colour based off the white, the Payne's Grey, the blue, blah blah blah. And that's much nicer. I like it. Again, probably change it up later, but that's looking pretty good, guys. What do you reckon? I'm going to say goodbye for another week, and like I said, I'm a bit fatigued. I'm talking for about 4 hours straight and painting and teaching you all I can. Thank you for being here. Check it out, like, subscribe, share it around. I asked you last time, please share it around. Thank you, everybody. Like, seriously, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming to the premiere every week. The comments after, and I know, and it gets a lot of views later, so there's a lot of lot of ghosts, a lot of you guys that I'm trying to get that in. I'm trying to talk and freaking get that in shot at the same time. That's as far back as I can get the camera. Yeah, there's a lot of ghosts that watch it later, a lot more views than comments, and that's great. I'm just glad that you watch it. If you do like it, hit the thumbs up at least. That doesn't cost you anything. But if you just drop a comment, just like, wow, that's great. Thank you. Appreciate it, you're working, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, thank you. Starting to come together. Background, face is done. May not be done, we can work on it later. Background's done, again, may not, we can change it later. Next week, we will continue with the helmet. We got a nice, the Marlboro at the top's worked out well. Is it in the shot? I don't know. We'll go up. There we go. That's pretty good. You saw me freehand that with the flip method. I'll have to tidy that up next week with because all the yellow and shadow yellow has gone over it. So we'll clean that up. We've got that colour there. It's coming together. It's coming together. So I don't know. What are we at? About 4 hours so far? 4 or 5 hours. Lost track already. And yeah, we will continue. Thank you everybody for being here, and I will see you all next time.